Right, with that, India have gone down not just in the Adelaide ODI, but have lost the series as well. Australia winning with 2 wickets in hand and 3.5 overs to spare. And that at the end did prove to be a much closer game that many had expected. Star for the Australian team, you've got Matthew Shott with 74 and then Cooper Conley not out, 61. I would say that he actually played a much more crucial knock than even Matthew Shott. Good effort by the Indian fast bowlers, especially Arshdeep and Siraj chipping in, very economical as well. You had Washington Sundar also, amongst the wickets, 2 wickets for him. Harshit Rana picking up 2 wickets, but slightly expensive. And then you had Akshar Patel with 1 wicket alongside Mohammad Siraj, both of them picking a wicket apiece. So gents, when we were discussing it, of course Harshit wasn't there, he had more important things to do, but we were discussing mid-innings, Shane and I, and we had said 60-40 in the mid-innings. It looked like that. Fair to say that that's exactly how the games turned out. I mean, another 15-20 runs, it could have been 50-50 sort of game. Let's say 20 more runs, 50-50 game.
Either 15-20 more runs or 1 Kuldeep Yadav.
Started the show and he set the cat amongst the pigeons. So let's tackle that only. Let's tackle that. So I changed the question.
On a day where the spinner from the opposing team goes ahead and picks up 4 and by no stretch can you take his name and Kuldeep's name in the same breath. Because Kuldeep is that good. And he's not that good yet. He's Australia's best. He's not the world's best. That just tells the story. And there were question marks about whether Kuldeep Yadav should be playing on this Adelaide surface or not. I think you've gotten the answer to that.
Okay, so I'm putting the straight question. India get 264 as they did. And they come out to bowl with a Kuldeep Yadav instead of whom?
Either a Washington or an Akshar.
Or
Washington's picked 2 wickets. So what? Kuldeep would have picked 4?
Easily.
Okay, fine. So India have Kuldeep Yadav in their ranks. Are India the winners at the end of the game?
They'd be a lot closer.
Could be.
They'd be a lot closer.
Also,
and they did take it quite close, mind you. 8 wickets down. But you kept thinking at that point where there was that, I remember the 2 spinners got a couple of wickets. I think it was Akshar who got 1, then Washington who got the other. Yeah. And there were a couple of wickets that fell, and then you're thinking, if only you had a Kuldeep here. It's not condition specific. He's someone who I think takes the conditions out of the game. And regarding what you're saying about Zampa, by the way, Zampa's 31, 32 years old. He's not some young prospect anymore. He's been there as one of the world's best.
I think what he was saying was that Kuldeep's a far superior bowler.
Yeah, but I think Zampa, if you're talking white ball spinners, is up there in the world. Yeah. He's been a World Cup winner and everything.
True.
Yeah,
But see, I mean, you can't have the names of... You could still have the names of Zampa and Kuldeep in the same breath. You can't have Javier Bartlett and Javier...
Doherty
in the same breath. They are 2 different bowlers.
2 very different bowlers.
Yeah. Maybe from the same country, but very different bowlers. For those of you who don't know the joke, you can head over to a platform called X and you will know what we're talking about. But yeah, coming back, I'd agree, and this is something that again we discussed in the mid-innings. And when we were looking at that particular total and whether India can defend it, this is the exact same thought I had too, that if India were playing Kuldeep, I would have said it 50-50, if you remember, Shane. Yeah. I said if India had Kuldeep in their ranks, because why I'm saying Kuldeep? Because you need a match-winning bowler. And I did point out that you have 2 bowlers in Arshdeep and Mohammad Siraj who can, help you win a game. Especially a game where I think you've just about got the par total. Just about the par total, I think, on this pitch, you could say. And if you really want to be certain of a win, you needed more than 2 match-winning bowlers. And I don't think, again, Washington's bowled well today, no, taking no credit away from him, but does he strike me as a match-winning bowler that will win me a match, just basis his bowling on a given day? Not. Nitish Kumar Reddy is certainly not that. Harshit Rana is certainly not that. So I only had 2 bowlers that I could think of, okay, these two probably if they have a great day, I'm winning. But you need more than two in a 50 over game. In a T20, maybe, two bowlers can turn it around. But in a 50 over game where you have to bowl about 10 overs, I think you needed another match win. And I have to agree. I'm not saying that if Kuldeep had played, it was guaranteed India would have won. But I think it would have started at 50-50 when India defending 264. As soon as India go in with just two match winning bowlers, I gave Australia a 60% chance, and that's exactly how the game really has panned out. But the next question from there is, even if you had to look at playing Kuldeep, and I am also of the firm believer that Kuldeep must play, how would you play him? How do you fit him?
Either you don't play a Harshit or you don't play a Nitish.
But see, again, I'm saying in a area or conditions where fast bowlers are probably doing a job. Harshit also picked up 2 wickets. He's expensive.
But look how much Nitish bowled then. Only 3 overs.
But I'm just saying Harshit then can't be the replacement. Now you will need 3 fast bowlers.
I'm saying either because again certain likes and dislikes that we know of. You're trying to groom both the players clearly. You do want to groom.
No, make your 11. Make your 11 with a Kuldeep in who goes out straight.
I am probably looking at not having Harshit then. I'll still keep Nitish in mind.
Nitish Kumar Reddy 10 overs to bowl.
I will have to go in that direction because I'm looking at grooming him for red ball cricket as well. For far too long you've been trying to look at somebody who can do exactly what a Hardik Pandya has been doing, and if it's about taking Indian cricket forward across formats, then you need to have Nitish Kumar Reddy. You're seeing them do that exactly with Shivam Dube as well, who in the Asia Cup was bowling far more than some of the others, and clearly you've picked that particular path for yourself. I think Nitish Kumar is the only other player who has that kind of skill set in Indian cricket at the moment, and he's the only one besides a Hardik Pandya who's then representing or is making a space for himself in the 11. I think from a long-term perspective, you need to be pushing Nitish Kumar a bit more than you already are. You're underutilizing him. That's exactly the criticism that Shubman Gill had when you toured England, that you aren't bowling Nitish Kumar Reddy that much, but you need to find ways, even if he's expensive. I think in the longer run, this is exactly what you want.
No, but he can. I don't know how can he be a third fast bowler. He can be a fourth backup fast bowler on a given day. Give him. In Australian conditions, can you really have a Nitish Kumar Reddy as your third fast bowler? I don't think that's feasible. You will have to have either a Harshit or a Prasidh Krishna, and I'll tell you why. Because imagine you won the toss and you were bowling first. Your whole match will be dependent on your fast bowlers. Even bowling second it has. The big difference in this match has been that extra amount of juice that was there on offer when you were put a team into bat first. Just playing 2 fast bowlers, I'm not sure that you will need a third fast.
The only way to go about it is drop one of the spin bowling all-rounders. That has to be the only option, because see, I think we're getting too used to seeing 3 spinners in the 11. 99% of white ball matches, you're not going to be seeing 3 spinners. Yes, the last 2 tournaments that you've had were played in UAE, where you did need 3 spinners. Well, sometimes you were going with 4 spinning options, if I remember the Champions Trophy, right? But now you don't. I think you need to drop one of those 2 and let your spinner, your main spinner in Kuldeep, then bowl 10 overs. I have no problems with the contributions either Washington or Akshar made, but you still need to be bowling your wicket-taking spinner. You didn't have that wicket-taking spinner.
There's a problem with that too. The problem is batting then finishes at 7. And now I have argued in favor of having 7 batters. But now looking at the Indian batting in the first 2 ODIs that you've already played, can you go with 7 batters? I don't think so. See, had it been the Indian team of the past or even this team, but not in these conditions, let's say you're playing at home or England or South Africa where you're getting belters, where you're batting, I think your top 3 or 4 basically do the job. They bat for majority of the inning, and that's how India would play the ODI cricket. And then I know you really don't need a batter at 8. I would agree. But in these conditions where you've already played 2 matches where you've struggled to bat the full quota of overs. Remember the previous game was a shortened game, and there also you lost a lot of wickets. Can you go 50 overs with batting till 7? That becomes a problem.
Because I'm just looking at and why I said without a Harshit Rana, because I'm looking at how things have played out in Perth and in Adelaide. Even today we were saying, and as it was just reiterated as well, that probably 20 more runs and the script would have been different for India. And in both the occasions, you didn't get those 20 odd runs. In fact, you needed much more in Perth. Despite having a Harshit, despite having batting till late, it still didn't serve your purpose when you lost your wickets early. Today, you lost wickets early, then you lost wickets in heaps in the middle overs as well. In fact, after whatever that partnership you had with Aksar around as well, after that, none of your lower order batters got you enough runs. And then having somebody like a Harshit who does offer something with the bat doesn't get you anywhere. See, either it would have been then with the Kuldeep there.
No, so what are you saying? 7 batters?
No, just the way that you played till Nitish, absolutely fine. You have a Kuldeep in place of Harshit Rana because, see...
But today, no, my friend...
24 again, but it's still left you 20 short, right?
No, but see, again, what can he do? He has got to 24 in 18.
Yeah.
And by the way...
And I'm saying, this is to when the dire situation came. It's not going to be more dire than this.
No,
more dire than this was last match also.
No, but 2 things happened because of that. No, I'm just, as I pointed out, one, I think Harshit is a decent enough batter. We'll get to that. Secondly, you're going with 2 fast bowlers. Nitish Reddy cannot be a third fast. In Australia, you're playing 2 fast bowlers. Can't happen. You don't want to get Harshit, fine, you bring in a Prasidh Krishna, whatever, that's another thing. You'll need 3 fast bowlers. If Jasprit Bumrah was there, maybe things would have been different. There's Bumrah, Siraj and Arshdeep, all 3 playing, who knows. But in these conditions, you can't play
but
2.
you need to get Nitish Reddy ready to be able to bowl 5 odd overs easy for you. That's how it justifies having him in.
But
because you're playing him 7, 8, he's always going to have to play risky cricket given whatever time
fine,
that he walks into bat.
But he can't be a third fast bowler. I'm saying you need 3 frontline fast bowlers. No, how do you win matches? You need 3 frontline fast bowlers to be there in the first 15 overs, majority of them bowling or towards the death coming. You need 3 options.
You tried him out at this, in this very continent a few months back.
Correct.
And he got you those couple of wickets, but again, that was red ball cricket.
Yes,
but see, zipping conditions, I
there
think
also you have 3 fast bowlers.
Correct, he's your 4th batsman.
And he chips in fine. In ODI also chips in. You don't have him in the team, that's fine. But I'm not arguing with that. But you cannot go in Australia in these conditions with just 2 fast bowlers. And Nitish can't be a third. You'll need 3. If I'm the captain, I'll need 3 fast bowlers. Today you saw Arshdeep and all cramping up. Harshit Rana also fell down. One of them pulls up. You can't. You lost the game even before it started in that much. So you need that. See, right now it's very tough to fit Kuldeep in. I would also want him, as I said, if he had been there, maybe your chances of winning would have been different. But it's just tough to fit him in right now. That takes me to the next question, which is, what have we learnt
about
Virat Kohli's...
Virat conundrum it's become now.
We have to address...
Elephant
we did briefly.
Now in depth. Look, it's still early to judge.
Firstly, at the risk of repeating myself, what did and I want all 3 to chip in, because social media has gone berserk, what did that mean?
Just
no, what did it mean to you?
Very simple. Again, I had to look at social media to be able to get into this line of thought, because that's not something that came to me naturally. To me, in that very moment, saw that happen. Again, it was acknowledgement of the crowd. Thank you so very much. I've loved playing here. I've had other players, I've had other captains say that, there can be a stand over here named after me. That's not what he said. That's what Dhoni said about him. And he said it many a times before, that this place feels like home to him, and it just gets the best out of him. He's loved playing here. He loves the venue, surface, the crowd, everything. We know how things started as a test captain also for him over here. So there's just so much that he shares, and he also knows that he may not ever be playing an international match over here, Virat Kohli. So I think it was just an acknowledgement of all those factors, and a thank you to the fans for being there and
so he's nowhere close to his retirement, is what?
No,
nothing. It's just saying bye bye one final time to Adelaide, the venue.
Adelaide, yes.
Yeah, it's a bye bye to Adelaide. It's not a bye bye to cricket. I mean, I'll keep a disclaimer little space, because again, his last 2 retirements did catch me off guard. T20s, I don't think anyone was expecting it to come right after the World Cup, although people knew that was their last tournament. Yeah, that we knew. I'm just saying, after the final. What shocked me was his test one. That came from out of the blue. So, of course, then let's keep in mind the fact that he even left behind captaincy. Just like that, there were times he caught you off guard. I'll keep his propensity for catching us off guard aside. It felt like just an acknowledgement of thank you very much, Adelaide. When are they touring in Australia next? It's going to be a while, and I don't think even if they do, he'll not be there. He'll not be there for sure.
They will be, but it's mostly going to be for tests, and then he's definitely
no. The next test series they're coming here, no?
So it'll be 4 years from now.
After
the
that,
next
4 years.
4 years also will be test. We don't know about their
24, so 28
bilateral
will be
ODI
there.
series.
So that's what I'm saying. That's test and bilateral. Even if you go, I think you might have T20. So I don't think there is anything on the anvil right now when it comes to ODI cricket. He knows he's played his last ODI in Adelaide, a ground he absolutely rules. He's got now the highest international runs for any player in Adelaide, so that in itself is a massive achievement. The ground where he got his debut test 100, the ground where he got his back-to-back 100 as his debut of test captain, so many memories. So I think it was effectively saying bye-bye. I think he's in his mind he wants to play the 2027 World Cup, so clearly he's not giving up on international cricket. So those conspiracy theories then, at least from our side, can be put to rest. Now to the issue at hand. What is happening? What was that question? What happening? You score runs, what happening? What is it?
That meme, no?
We've seen Harshit
You score run, what happening?
You score run, 2 down, what happening? What happening?
No, you won the match, you perform, what happening?
What happening?
So I'm going to reverse it. 2 match, 2-0, what happening?
I think he feels spooked. Definitely he looks a little spooked. Yeah, he feels, I think, everyone knew that after, the test series in Australia, that fifth line, any ball there, it was catching him off guard. It didn't even have to be swinging. Now, in the last match, he was out exactly the same way. Of course, I referenced the khada hu aaj. Oh, no. The word sahi aa raha tu badla nahi hai. Because again, that today he was set up by 3 deliveries outside the off stump. I was watching, I went back and rewatched, and Bartlett had 1 which swung away and 2 which were on the 4th, 5th stump line. He tapped 1 back to the fielders, 1 evaded his off stump, off his outside edge, 1 he shouldered arms, and the 4th one swung back in and hit his pad. So he set him up using off stump or outside off stump deliveries, and that scared me a little bit, because you're looking at it and it's like that one weakness is being used in new ways now. It's one thing to use that weakness and say, okay, I'll get one to swing outside. Then okay, fine, then you're getting him. But you're using it to set him up now. That is very worrisome. And again, I will put all the obvious caveats. 7-month break. You're gonna see him perform in better batting conditions, ODI batting conditions, when you play the home series against South Africa and New Zealand. All those caveats, and one hopes that if he gets match practice, his match sharpness also comes back, because that's the other thing. He looks like he's lacking match sharpness. But if we're having the same conversation come the end of the South Africa series, then it's worrisome. Very worrisome. It's already slightly worrisome, but I think it'll be cranked up several notches if it's happening back then.
What I'm in many ways convinced about is, and I had this same thing to say when we were talking about another issue, which is whether these guys should be playing domestic cricket or not. But what this tells me is, and it applies to Rohit also, despite him getting runs today, not like this assures that he's getting runs in Sydney or in the series to follow. It can happen to anyone. Some days you score, some days you don't score. But with the second successive dismissal of Virat, what this tells me is that both veterans, if you're looking at preparing well for 2027, you're not machines. I remember what was said about Ravichandran Ashwin since he was paratrooped in that World Cup squad, that listen, international cricketers, it's fine if you've not seen them for a while. They know exactly what to do and you paratroop them, that's fine. Ashwin's international and agreed with that. But Ashwin was playing across formats, that's also another thing. With these guys now, if they're not going to be playing domestic cricket, and if they're going to be playing these high-profile series and building up to a tournament as high profile as the World Cup, then you need to be playing. Because what this has told me is that, and Shane uses the right word, it's exactly the word that I had in mind as well, you're not sharp at the moment. These were very easy traps. it became predictable after a point. The BGT was predictable in terms of dismissals, but how do you avoid as an international player, as a record breaker in ODI cricket? Again, this just tells me that Virat's just lacking that sharpness right now. He's been set up by very young people, and it's not as if it's some out of the world setup. It's just what we've seen in cricket over all these years. In fact, Perth, I would also say, was also down to a setup where the line was, clearly he was trying to bowl him right outside the off stump. All the 3 deliveries prior to the dismissal were in line with the off stump. There's one just angling away, and Virat in desperation tries to get his arms to it. So he's clearly lacking that sharpness that's needed to avoid these situations. Today as well, was the ball really a wicket taking delivery? In my view, in form Virat Kohli plays in, day out, because it's just angling in, feet not in the right line, heads. I sort of stopped there as well just to see if the feet and head are in line with each other. Not quite, and also the wrong choice of shot for me, if you ask, because he's just not used. We've not used to seeing Virat Kohli with the ball angling in, play the flick like that. So clearly he's lacking that. Technically as well, he was all over the place as well. He was found wanting technically, uncharacteristic of Virat Kohli. He needs that game time to come for him now.
See, I mean, I know the record suggests that this is the first time that he's been out on 2 back-to-back talks, but it's not that he wouldn't have had bad phases in his career. He's had many bad phases previously, and he's always bounced back. Is this the same as previous times? I don't think so, and that is the only thing that worries me. And I'll tell you what is it that's worrying me. I'm not even looking at the technical aspect. I'm not even looking at how he was set up. He's been set up in the past as well. He's found a way. He's had weaknesses. He's found a way. There have been, long gaps. He's found a way. There have been times he's been rusty. He's found a way. But what I've never seen, and this is the only difference that I see in Virat Kohli now, what I'd never seen before was a tentative Virat Kohli. That is, I think, the first time I'm seeing it. Virat Kohli out of form I've seen. A Virat Kohli falling prey to a plan I have seen. Virat Kohli was never unsure about himself. Virat Kohli, with the body language that he shows when he walks, when he's on the ground, even when he plays a defense, even though he may have a 10-ball stay at the crease, that his confidence was looking good. Okay, one good ball or one, that break in concentration and he nicks one, he's out fine. But what I have seen in his 12 ball stay, total 8 plus 4, not a single delivery he's looked calm, composed. It's looking like he's unsure of what he's doing. This is something that he has done day in and day out for the last 2 decades. If I look at it, his young career and then going on to play for India day in and day out, I don't think I've ever seen him like that, of being a cat on a hot tin roof who's like a bit anxious, who doesn't know what to do. He's looking unsure of things. He's looking like someone who's who's a novice just getting into that level, rather than the stalwart, the star that he is. And that is the worrisome side. Why has that happened? I think that is the bigger question. Either it's happened because I'm just looking at why is it that I'm seeing Virat in a very different avatar, which I've never seen him. One could be maybe because for the very first time in his international career, he's had such a big international break. He used to have breaks earlier, but because he was playing all formats, he would come back in some format or the other. Now 200 plus days not having played for India, is it because of that he's not used to such big breaks, and so it'll take him time for him to get warmed up, or his mind and body to get used to the rigors and the pressure of international cricket? I don't know. Or the other thing is, whatever said and done, he's human after all, and maybe all the chatter around him being under, and this is also something that's never happened in his career. His position has come under scrutiny in T20 cricket towards the end of his career, to an extent in Test cricket just before he retired. But in ODI cricket, he was the boss. He is the guy who defined ODI cricket, who set the template of ODI cricket, Mr. ODI cricket himself. For the very first time, he is being questioned or scrutinized, and his position in the ODI team has come under scrutiny. Maybe it was a bitter pill for him to swallow. Maybe it is tough for him to even adjust that why did this conversation happen, and why is it that I'm under some sort of notice and I have to perform, even though I have been the most standout ODI performer, not overall, but even in the last 2-3 years for India. So where is this question coming from? Maybe that's playing on his mind, that he knows he has to prove a point. Maybe he has limited chances. Everyone's gunning for him. And that is what is causing unusual Virat Kohli displays. Otherwise, him getting out, should we be judging him after every knock? No, we shouldn't be judging anyone after every knock. He's been a guy in good form, top of the game in ODI, and we should judge him after, as I said, end of the season. But if he plays like this, that worries me. Yeah. Getting out is fine. 1, 2, 3, 5, so long as you fight. I give you the first ODI example also. If you see, he was so tentative. Rohit wasn't. Rohit got out, fine, right? But it didn't worry me. It looked like, okay, this is something he's used to. He's come, he's done it. Okay, one good ball, nicks it, goes. Done. Can happen to a Gill, can happen to any. Today also, he was lucky, Rohit, in a lot of times to survive. Was grinding it out, dug his heels in, spent time, got runs. Very normal process. Nothing unusual. This is not the Virat. I've never seen a Virat like that. Who's unsure of what he's doing. This is his... Like he can asleep Virat can get runs in ODI.
I think what's happened over here is I think Virat also wasn't ready for the fact that this would also be a result of that retirement decision from Test cricket. What in many ways has happened
but
is
he would have thought it
I
through,
think
no?
this isn't this unsure version of Virat Kohli that we are seeing. I don't think it's as if some of his powers have lessened, though they may not have. I maintain in ODI cricket they may not have. But just the fact that you're not playing a format which would test you the most, which would often get the best out of you as well, which gave you so much more game time also. Once all of that has taken away, I don't think Virat Kohli was perhaps also prepared that in some way it could mean diminishing of the power. The skill may not have diminished, but the fact that all of that has gone away maybe is making him feel that his powers are now restricted. And that's why he's not been the flamboyant version of Virat Kohli in ODI cricket that we've seen.
To the other man.
Other former captain.
The other part of Rocco. His knock of 73, what does that tell you?
Want to start?
Sure. I mean, what it tells me is that I think, he didn't look great in the last match, but then again in the last match, early on that pitch was not conducive for batting at all, and then it got
Hazelwood.
Yeah.
Hazlewood with
unnerving
cracker of a delivery.
Yeah, that
could be the delivery of the series.
Yeah, that ball had anyone's name on it. It didn't matter who was standing in front of you. Yeah. Everyone was getting you. Here, the difference between that match and this match is that he saw the tough phase. He played out 2 maiden overs.
He rode his luck too.
Hey, of course. You need that. You need that in elite level sport. He rode his luck. He played out 2 maidens to Hazelwood. Stayed patient. Then when he looked settled, when he realized, okay, now the pitch, whatever juice was there is kind of gone, go for it. And see, suddenly what it does, I mean, if you're looking at it, 8 or 0 runs in the last match, both of them were under equal scrutiny. This 173 has just taken him out of that conversation. Suddenly Rohit looks comfortable. Now you have no worries, no doubts. He cannot get runs in the next match also. And you'll say that he had, a tough Adelaide pitch was doing something. He got you runs. Kohli, that pressure is still there. He's still waiting to get off the mark in this series, which in itself tells you everything you need to know. It couldn't have been more contrasting, the Rocco fortunes. Rose now sorted. At least for a little while, there's not going to be that axe hanging over his head. But Kohli, still there, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I really liked one thing about Rohit Sharma, the fact that he was willing to spend time in the middle. It went against the grain for him in many ways because he's used to setting the template, he's used to pulling out the fireworks first up. That's the way that he's played ODI cricket over the last couple of years.
He did try though. But
but then he realized
ball was moving.
Yes, so he realized that there were times that he swung the bat, but the ball swung a bit more and it missed his bat, and he tried playing across the line as well. So all those things happened, but he realized, and we're not used to seeing Rohit Sharma bat at a strike rate of less than 50, which also was the case at many a times when he was around the 25-30 run mark. He played more than double the deliveries, but was willing. He was willing, and he eventually you did see him face another 40 odd deliveries, and he had a plan in place because look at the bowlers that he targeted.
There is some criticism because you're talking about his approach. I saw some criticism, some chatter about the way he's batting like this is primarily because he used to have a very different approach even in ODI. But that is because what people are concluding is that time he was so secure, so he could bat like that. No. Now you made him insecure because doubting his position, so he's now batting in this.
No, I disagree with that also, because how many batters in the two matches, well, take into consideration batters from the opposing camp as well, have been able to go swing the bat. And remember, both times India were the team that were playing in tricky conditions. It's not easy, and you at times have to evaluate. There's no hurry. Yes, you've seen him play in a certain brand of cricket, or play with a certain brand of cricket, but look where he's ended. And isn't this exactly the quality we appreciated somebody like a Virat Kohli? It may have been his criticism in T20 cricket, but this is exactly what made Virat Kohli the king, absolute king of ODI cricket. The fact that he knew how is it that he could pace his innings. That is a quality you saw from Rohit Sharma today. Eventually registered a 75.26. Another 5-10 deliveries, if he had managed to stay, could have been somewhere upwards of 85-90. That's exactly what you've seen. Yes, I know 118 is what you've seen from him over the last 2 years since he started with this new brand of cricket, but not every game will you get 118, 120. There will be times it's 118 is average strike rate over the last 2 years. That doesn't mean every match he's getting you 118. So at times he'll give you 140 also, 130 also, but there'll be days that'll give you 80, 90. That's why it reaches 118. So I found it very good on Rohit. And he had a plan, like I was saying, he had a plan. It wasn't until Owen and Short that he pulled out all his big shots. Zampa also, he targeted a deep extra cover when there wasn't a man there. He got himself sorted. He knew that Bartlett was having a phase of sorts. Stark, he didn't want to attack because of the angle. He waited for these guys to come in and only then pulled out the aerial shots. So I thought he played to a plan.
Also, there's nothing wrong with adjusting your plans if you know that your plan is not going to fit the conditions. That's baseball, where you just play one approach, come what may. You can't do that. You have to, if you're trying to in that sort of a circumstance, you've lost two partners for very cheap, 9 runs combined, and you say, no, I'm going to just play this way, then that's foolish. It's foolhardy. Mind you, we are talking about his strike rate and everything. This is, I think, the 19th 50-plus score in ODI cricket that he's gotten since 2022. Of those, this is only the second time he's gotten a 50-plus score where the strike rate is under 100. So that in itself tells you just how shockingly consistent he's been, even with that gung-ho approach or looking to just be attacking and set the, positive intent, up the ante, all of the cliches. He still managed to work to a plan and work to it well. And it was effective. If he had gotten out for 10-20, then it wouldn't have mattered. Those 24 runs from Harshit lower down the order wouldn't have mattered. You needed someone to make a big score, and you got that big score.
I think first and foremost, I think this is a much needed knock for Rohit Sharma. Couldn't be happier for him because, I always maintain that both Rohit and Virat totally class apart. And I often said that class is permanent. And now, if again Rohit would have also failed, people would have pointed fingers at, see, they're done and dusted and so and so. So glad that he's gotten runs, because what he's proving is that you can be away from international cricket, but you haven't forgotten how to get runs. And if you are calm and composed and just put your head to what you're supposed to do and just follow that process, you will get runs, as Rohit showed. And I think from Rohit, I think it'll be a great lesson for Virat as well. I think this knock now will help. Say, because if I said at the start that Virat, let's say he's looking very unusually different, is it because he's not played international cricket for so long, that's why that bit of doubt has crept in his mind? But today you look at Rohit and say, listen, he's missed out international cricket as much as I did, but see, he fought in the middle, stuck there, has gotten runs. I can do that. So I think firstly this should help someone like Virat Kohli too. And then again, with all the chatter that was with Rohit and Yashasvi Jaiswal breathing down his neck, should you look at it and not? I think what Rohit showed you today, and I completely agree with you. The reason I asked that question because I didn't believe in this sort of conversation that he's batting differently because now he's been put under notice. I believe that he tried to bat aggressively at the start, danced down the wicket a couple of times to hit it, realized it's not the day to do that. And he'll have to buckle in, just play the waiting game. Sooner or later runs will come, and I think it's a 73 that have helped make a match out of this. It's him and Akshar Patel to a large extent that have taken you where you've had at least a close-ish game, unlike the one-sided encounter which you saw in the first game. Could very well have been another one-sided encounter had he failed at the top. So I think much needed runs. I guess this also sends the message out to any doubters who thinks that now he's aging, they're only playing one format so they can't get runs. He's shown you that he can, and now all you desire from them is consistency. Dare I say that who knows if this continues and Shubman's not getting runs. then Yashasvi and Rohit can open. No, see again, conversations change. We're sitting here after the New Zealand series, and maybe people are saying, I think Rohit and Yashasvi make the best batting pair, openers. Can happen.
And Rohit में कोई खराबी नहीं थी, उसको फिर से कैप्टन बना दो.
Maybe. Okay, before we take your questions, where do you think India lost the match?
Multiple things. I think for one, the batting, despite you have so much depth, didn't contribute enough runs. There were far too many single-digit scores or starts which just weren't converted. Bowling, I think we already knew you were going in with a weekend bowling, so I'll not take that. I will say though that with that kind of batting, you needed to grind it out a little bit more, ride your luck a bit like what Rohit did. You had 300 something. This may have been a very indifferent match, even with this current bowling lineup. I think even with this current bowling lineup, 300 you are defending.
I think what this has also told you is if you're playing ODI cricket and there's no Jasprit Bumrah, you need another 30 runs above par. You're dealing with a couple of...
Or you need a Kuldeep Yadav. Which we discussed at the start.
Yeah, because... See that added
or
zip that you get. Or a
man here who's a Hardik fan, or Hardik Pandya, he's saying.
To be fair, Hardik I would back as a third seamer over Nitish.
Of course.
That's not a disrespect to...
This is of course a backup.
That can change things and you can bring in a Kuldeep. Hardik can do that.
That you have done. You've played the entire Champions Trophy with one Jasprit Bumrah and Hardik Pandya. You
later with just one Jasprit Bumrah and Shivam Dube. Final.
Yeah.
Not even Hardik. But by the way, I must say one more thing. And sorry, I mentioned, Rohit's knock. I forgot to mention Shreyas. He also got those runs. So I think it's Rohit, Shreyas and Akshar who basically put you in that position. But I think one major factor is also the toss. Firstly, what kind of a freaky stat is that? 17 tosses in a row you've lost in ODI cricket. I believe it is, always law of averages that catches up in tosses. I think there's a 1 in 100 million chances of this happening, that a team loses 17 tosses in a row. You even change captains, but the toss results aren't changing.
There was some 0.000 or 406 sort of a % chance of India losing the toss, and it's happened.
Yeah, but I think both these tosses, what we've seen in Australia, and I'm not just talking about these ODIs, I was looking at that series versus Pakistan, the last series that was played around this time. Remember, it's still summers hasn't set in, it's quite cold there. Summers will be coming in a month or two in Australia, then things really change. Pitches become rather easy to bat on. You see those big scores in test matches and ODIs. Right now it's winter, so it's low scoring games. There's a lot of juice in the wickets. And the maximum purchase that any team gets is that first hour and a half. And most teams, Pakistan beat Australia in that series last year. Imagine Pakistan, who's not even at that level, beat because Australia were bundled out very cheaply, both in Adelaide as well as Perth. Similar position, but they were put into bat first. So I'm saying, keeping that in mind, I still think Indian team's done rather well in this game, because they got the wrong end of the stick in this particular match where they've been put into bat first. And that first hour and a half is so much more tougher than what Australia got comparatively. And despite that, you've made a game out of it. I think, your top order can also consider them slightly unlucky that they've got the worst conditions. They'd also be hoping that, hey, one time I wish we get to bat second. I'm not saying that will be a walk in the park, but would be much more easier for a Rohit, for a Virat, for even a Shubman, had they been batting second. Who knows, maybe the third game that you see in Sydney, they get a chance to bat second, maybe slightly better. But I think both these tosses have also played a major role in India looking inferior to Australia. But I don't think there is that much of a gap between the two teams. Also, I must keep in mind that Australia also don't have a few of their top players.
But again, since it's a season, and of course that one horrid day just ends up haunting you again and again. But not always can you, there's only so much hiding you can do behind the toss, because you won the toss 19th November, but you lost the match, right? There's only so much hiding that can happen.
No, but I'm saying
50 overs is enough time for you to, then come out of it, or just...
No, which is what India did. So they made a competitive match out of it. I think that first hour is very tough. If you'd reverse the situation, even Australia would have found it going tough.
It's a bit like, remember the World Cup, T20 World Cup in 2022. It was played at around a similar time. And more often than not, the teams that were batting second had much better conditions. You were seeing similar things, about half an hour or an hour tops, and the conditions were spicy. The only exception was India-South Africa, which was played in Optus, where throughout it was spicy. That was one consistent pitch. Other than that, I remember Adelaide, or whether they were playing in Melbourne, Sydney, wherever, initially there was that juice and no one knew what to expect, because again it was a bit of an unknown, because usually cricket you don't generally tend to play at this time. It's played a little later on once the summer onset is there, and so you are getting those kind of conditions now. Obviously it doesn't help, but yeah, it's a factor. It's not an excuse, but it's definitely a little bit of a factor, just a tad.
Lots of questions.
Yeah, let's go.
Starting with some love
Starting from love from the UK.
from Mr. Mandar Kelkar.
Thank you, Mr. Kelkar, for your love. Let's get to Sandeep's question now. Says that batting, bowling all aside, Shubman Gill, the captain, doesn't give any confidence to his bowling rotation, body language, and he left too much to desire. Very poor captaincy.
I don't know, I think it's a hiding on to nothing, the kind of circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, see, I to an extent, even I was seeing, I think Shubman Gill, the captain, is still work in progress. I still think that there are certain areas that he can work on. I think it took too long to bring Akshar in also at the, at a given point in time. Look at how they utilized Hazelwood, Australia at the top, gave him an extended spell. I think those areas maybe, really needs to work at. Harshit Rana bowling slower after slower, and maybe he needed to go and speak to him that come on, they're not even attacking you and you're bowling slower. So I think you need, but then again you had Rohit Sharma helping out on occasions. He was also helping him out. Maybe he's a work in progress. He'll also be looked at very closely. You could see on certain occasion Rohit looking rather upset with what is happening around him. Vivek Singh, can't take Kuldeep and Zampa's name in the same breath is an overstatement. And good morning to Shivam, who is also with us. Then you play Nitish in ODIs to groom him for test. Really, all 20 more runs you save with one less batter if you play Kuldeep. Answer Vivek Singh, Harshit.
See, I maintain that again, if you're playing Nitish and you're looking at somebody who can fill in for Hardik, you need to take these risky calls from time to time. Otherwise, 3 overs, 4 overs, not always going to groom him. So take that hard call. And if you really want the next Hardik Pandya, you need to start doing that. The second bit, also 20 more runs you say with one less batter if you play Kuldeep. And I also said that if you play Kuldeep, then you're short of certain wickets as well, and that 20 runs which you're looking for your number 8 to give you will not be asking these questions. Those things are taken care of. As is the case if you add a Jasprit Bumrah, you will not need those extra 20-30 runs if you have these wicket-taking bowlers. That's the limited point I was making.
Correct. You've got Dikshita who says that no Kuldeep, but Zampa got wickets. Reddy bats at number 8, but bowls 3 overs. Gautam Gambhir's mind is occupied against Virat Kohli, whom Ponting just called the GOAT in ODIs, after Virat's great CT and IPL. No, I don't think it's... I think it's a bit unfair, this thing to say that he's preoccupied. But definitely, solving that conundrum or solving that is something that will need to be done. And I think it's fair that a call hasn't yet been made. You want to see them in action a bit before you say that, no, they're going to be playing the World Cup for sure. Imagine if you made that call now and then they have 3 bad series. Yeah. Then you are walking back on words you've said publicly. Better than that you don't say, you say, no, we know they're world class players. And just let them play. Then you can make a solid call.
Yeah. Prani Datta says that India going in with 2 regular bowlers, how can you win matches with just 2 bowlers? Now that Harshit, Arshdeep have shown batting potential, Kuldeep in place of Washi. That's the suggestion Pranit has made. Okay. Then we've got Mr. Mondal, who's Shubhadeep Mondal says that drop Washington in ODIs and T20s, bring Kuldeep, Nitish Kumar Reddy or Dubey for injured Hardik Pandya is a must, is what he adds. Later says that Washington does not bring anything with the bat or ball in white ball cricket.
That's unfair. That last part.
I would say that I think you can look at doing that. That's fine. But I think Washi, and I was never a fan of Washington Sundar, the bowler, and I've said this quite often. I used to say he's okay. He can be a handy bowler, can chip in, but can he really win you matches? I must say he's really improved as a bowler. He's really worked on his bowling. I can see Now, that drift is there. He gets the ball to grip and turn. He's really worked on that craft. He's become a much improved bowler. But is he as good as Kuldeep? The answer to that is, of course, no. Definitely not. But then he brings the batting. And what do you do when your overall batting has not been firing? You will need some cushion. So, I think it's a catch-22 situation. It's not an easy answer. It's no, any straight-jacket approach that you can have that, okay, this is what we'll do. It's a tough call for any team to make at the moment.
Pranit Datta corrects all of us saying the meme is final match, you performing, what happening? Yes, that's what it was. I was Andre Russell who was on
final match, you performing, what happening? That's right. Virat Kohli not get run, what happening?
Oh God.
Thank you for that, Pranit. Thank you very much. Okay, Naveen says, 2 bad matches for Kohli and everyone is jumping on him. Even at the bad phase of Messi and Ronaldo, people supported them. But we are such fans, such a shame.
I don't think anyone is jumping on him. I want him to succeed. But
no, I think he's talking about in general, the kind of noise he may be seeing across social media or mainstream media platforms, TV shows. India may have lost a match, but you're only discussing Kohli. That's what you guys do on TV. So all that he is pointing to.
You don't want to be seeing my chat with Saransh right now.
Mine too.
Now you've got Amit Diwakar saying Nitish Reddy's position is getting wasted. Kuldeep could have played instead, or maybe a specialist batter.
See, again, he's being underutilized as a bowler, I'd have to say. If at one point, I'm okay actually to play a batter instead of Nitish Kumar Reddy. In fact, if you remember yesterday when you were doing the dugout, I suggested that I can even fit in a Yashashvi in this team. And I fitted him in by removing a Nitish Kumar Reddy. Saying that the rest will do the job and then you get your...
Yeah, this for 3 overs if you're...
But now you see... but
then you can let go of... Then you can let go of even a Washi for that matter. Because you primarily have him for his... And
batting.
Then get a Kuldeep in.
But now Rohit scored runs at the top now. Yesterday we were hoping
so Washi,
that
Kuldeep
putting him
comes
in the middle gives him
Nitish
confidence.
goes out, Jaiswal comes in.
But Jaiswal plays where we were discussing yesterday.
Saying he compensates now for that. Then you can have 7 batters with Jaiswal also coming in.
But only 5 bowlers then.
Yeah.
Works in good conditions.
And Nitish will be your 5th then.
No, Nitish is out. No,
Nitish is out.
Nitish is
You
out.
ruled him.
Yashashvi. I mean, that is something you can look at. I agree on that front. That Nitish the bowler, unlike Washi, I think Nitish the bowler, I am not too, bullish about.
Let's say. Yeah.
Not too bullish about.
I don't think even his franchise are, because last year he barely bowled.
Yeah, actually, look at Washi also. He didn't bowl, hardly bowled for Gujarat. They played him as a batter.
That impacts sub.
But he did well as a batter.
He did very well as a batter last year.
But they didn't use him as a bowler.
It's been very contrarian what we've seen. IPL teams don't want all-rounders to bowl because again they've got impact sub rule. Indian teams now moving in a direction where they want more and more all-rounders.
Yeah.
A call needs to be taken on that rule.
As the final question. Okay, 2-3 more. Sandeep is saying, can Captain Shubman Gill overrule decisions taken by coach Gautam Gambhir? Is he that powerful? I don't think he can or he will. He's a yes sir captain. See, all of it is conjecture, by the way. Even I'm not privy to what happens in the dressing room. Sure enough, I'm sure, there are a lot of inputs. By the way, the video analyst also has a lot of input. That goes to the captain. But eventually, it's the captain's call. Sure, there will be occasions where Gill will listen to a Gautam Gambhir. But I'm sure there will be occasions where Gill will also put his foot down. That's how it works. And honestly, I'm telling you this. I've said it before after having spoken to a lot of people. In different setups as well. Captains do still have a lot of power. Yes, it's changing gradually where coaches are becoming pretty much hands-on now, but still. Big boy toys.
Says that with 5100s CT IPL form, why drop Virat Kohli on just 2 ODI? None of us said that he
No one has said he should be dropped into ODI.
He's saying just the idea is preposterous.
That I agree. But if you don't see performances in 9 matches...
See, what we're only saying is that the dropping theory, I think the seeds have been planted and you need to acknowledge that. we've done is an acknowledgement of it, and see whether that grows into a full-blown tree or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot will depend on the next 4 ODIs for Virat. But
Yeah.
none of us, we need to acknowledge the fact that, again, as Shane also said, nothing's been said very clearly from the team management as well. Very clearly things are, yes, 2027, no doubts. They're there. Their form, everything, we don't care about much. But the seeds have very much been planted. The conversation's on for a reason.
Okay, final comment of the night, and this comes from Siva Subramaniam. He says, is Gill just a flat track player? I don't like the last word you've used, and I think that's rather mean.
Typo.
No, not at all.
He knows what he's
Not
saying.
at all. He knows what he's saying, and he's continuing the kind of rather lame jokes that I see on social media, and I would take objection to such jokes about anybody. It's got nothing to do with but still taking the questions on face value.
I mean, see, he's developed a bit of a reputation. That's a fact. We can't ignore that. There is a bit of a reputation he has. I remember that one point he'd been nicknamed Prince of Ahmedabad because he got most of his runs over there in the IPL. But by that logic, then even Sky gets a lot of runs in Wankhede. That hasn't stopped anyone from proclaiming him.
There were question marks.
No, and rightfully
Asia
so.
Cup.
And rightfully so. There should be. His international form over the past year has been poor. No two ways about it. But with Gill, I think, some of the criticism reaches a point of it being overblown also. I understand the questions. I myself have them, by the way. I want to see him perform consistently in challenging conditions. That hasn't always happened. But let's not be uselessly mean about it. I think that's unfair.
Yeah, I mean, no, De Villiers has gotten runs. Yeah, come on, relax. Doesn't matter whatever.
That's not true. De Villiers has runs across formats.
Doesn't matter who said what. But yeah, I mean, to Shane's point, I know there have been occasions where he's been found wanting, but I can think of a couple of occasions. Gabba knock, the Melbourne knock, tough conditions, got you runs there. So not always, that he's been scoring.
I would say Manchester as well.
That's what I said. Manchester and Gabba, 2 places where he really stepped up. So, I mean, but again, he still has a lot to prove going forward. He still, as I think, is not a finished product. That's why I even floated that. Who knows what happens by the time the 2027 World Cup comes. I liked his approach in T20 now that he's come in, that he was trying to be aggressive, trying to play the brand of cricket that India would want him to. So, I like that. But he'll have to also come up with a couple more noteworthy knocks in tougher conditions.
And that's what defines good players and great players.
Yeah. So that's it. Is that all that we've got? Yes, Shivam, what is that? Shivam Giri. He's hell-bent on doing things which you are not supposed to.
I think
he needs to be fired. For the second time in a row he's doing that. Because he has no recollection what we are supposed to do, what we are going to be doing. He is the producer who needs to deal with that. We have a show to do where everything needs to be still done, and we are hitting on air in
half an hour.
26 and a half.
Okay, let's go. Shivam Giri. The day he has to be proactive, he's not. Today is the day we didn't want him to be proactive. He will, please get him to do some work right now after this.
Done.
हाँ.
कुलदीप यादव, मुझे ड्रॉप कर जो मैच जीता उसका हाइलाइट्स भेजना भाई. Poor guy.
मतलब
You've not won a match after dropping him in this series.
This is from which movie?
Oh, 3 Idiots.
What happens here?
This is Amir Khan bidding a due to his college.
Oh, I couldn't place the scene. scene.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Oh.
Took me a second. This is mean.
This is very mean. Very, very, very mean.
This is very mean. Kohli might have sold his international career to the devil for that IPL trophy. hindsight, you can make a case for it. With hindsight.
Quite a profound tweet, I must say. Very profound. This is very mean. I'm not going to take this.
Also mean?
No, this is very mean. By the way, I learned one thing about Harshit Rana, the batter, which I mentioned earlier, that he's not just a slogger.
He's a proper batter.
Yeah, he's got finesse as well. Some of those shots, beautiful.
That late cut of, what's his name, Zampa.
Proper
Nice,
batter.
Yeah.
Very good.
Batter, yeah. Keeping the tradition of gifting wicket to new bowlers alive. Yeah, it's something that would happen to a lot of time with Sachin also.
Sachin.
Part-timers.
Innocuous looking bowlers. Tough ones.
Who was it? I think Hansi Cronje who troubled him the most.
Yeah, a lot of.
Like we were all expecting answer would be Vaughan or someone,
Vaughan never troubled him.
Against Pakistan, Ritik, Shahrukh and Amitabh. Acha, duplicates against Australia. नहीं मेरे को तो ऐसा धक हो रहा है.
Everyone's thinking retirement.
नहीं we've answered that question right at the start of the program. If you're joining us live now, relatives be like rest of the year on Diwali. Does that happen at your house also?
I've seen it happen.
Diwali, everyone is
Yeah.
And rest of the year, daggers drawn.
Diwali day also some fight has to happen. Decor this, decor that.
17 साल में एक बार हारना तो allowed है ना.
What 17 साल?
This is what Rohit had said after India lost that test series against New Zealand, if I'm not wrong.
Then you've got
अगली
this.
बार 3 नंबर पर आ जाऊं तो हैरान मत होना. Hey, this is
क्या
you are adding fuel to unnecessary fire. नाना जी दोबारा मेरी वजह से भूखे से. Also a very harmless, innocuous comment, and people don't get the spirit behind the answer and take it literally.
Take it literally. Indian cricket in a nutshell, or Indian fandom in a nutshell.
अरे
नहीं. Please no.
5 problems, 1 solution. Hazlewood.
Mr. Hazlewood.
Oof,
He's the most unluckiest man on the planet today, not getting a wicket.
These have to be probably the best figure by any bowler to not have taken a wicket.
Madness.
Like the best bowling performance by a bowler not to have taken it. Outstanding.
This one's unfair.
अच्छा start लेके wicket throw करना नहीं बोला ये क्या है?
That's a bit unfair. This man has three double hundreds. What do you mean?
Exactly. Okay, on that note, thank you Shivam for coming up with an extra element. We appreciate this, but
always
on days we have time on our hands.
Luxury of time.
3 minutes. We did it in 3.
Otherwise it can last longer.
For 10 also.
True.
We had no other option. On that note, you guys take care. Bye.
Special conversation.
See, the third ODI is inconsequential overall in the result of the series. But you remember, we were not even focusing on the series when we know that why we were all, watching this series very closely. So on that regard, plenty of context still remains. So third ODI to be played on Saturday at the SCG will be back.
And as far as analysis for this one's concerned, it's only a post-match coverage that's done for, but that doesn't mean that the biggest analyst of us all in Sunny Ji.
Mr. Gavaskar coming live by around 7 p.m. on Sports Today. You can check that out. Plenty more videos as well. There'll be a video up at 7 p.m. about the trophy saga. Is the trophy coming or not? You can check.
Is it coming home?
You can check that as well. Machli ki aankh wants to know, a cricketer celebrating 5-month break. Is it a joke? Who's celebrating?
He didn't celebrate. He just said, I've not had this much time at home in ages. That's fair.
What he said.
What Kohli said.
Yeah, I don't think he was celebrating. I think he said that he'd been very busy and last 10 odd years he'd just been so preoccupied with cricket, didn't get enough time with his family, and he's happy to do just regular things.
Yeah.
Maybe he desires that. I don't think he's celebrating, but he's thankful to the Almighty to have allowed him that. It's a difference, I guess.
Bye.
Machli ki aankh. Bye. Take care.
And to others as well. Bye. Take
Chidiya
care.
ki, was it chidiya ki aankh or machli ki aankh? It was
Machli ki.
machli.
Machli. Yeah, not,
Both were there, yeah.
When he was for Swambar.
Swambar was machli ki aankh.
yes.
Practice was chidiya ki. There. Okay, take care. Bye. See you.